The parasite that came out of my body turned out to be my twin, absorbed in the womb. The film begins by showing a family consisting of Stacy, her husband Stephen, and their only child, Hannah. They are an extremely wealthy family, with Stacy working as an antique collector. As the sole child of a rich family, Hannah's life can be considered very fortunate. However, on the other hand, Hannah always feels lonely because her parents are constantly busy with their work. Because of this, Hannah feels she does not receive enough attention and is not very close to her parents. As a result of the loneliness she constantly experiences, Hannah becomes someone who is easily stressed and has difficulty dealing with problems in her life.
Yourself, sweetie.
At present, Hannah works as a designer at a fashion company owned by a famous designer. Even though they are always busy, Hannah's parents still make time to have meals together with her.
Gorgeous, gorgeous sculpture.
While eating, Hannah feels as if something is moving inside her stomach, specifically around her birthmark, but she does not pay much attention to it.
Hannah?
Hannah then continues her work as a fashion designer. The company where Hannah works is planning to hold a fashion show. Therefore, Hannah is required to design many outfits that match the theme and her boss's expectations. This task puts Hannah under great pressure because she has to work extra hard to find new ideas and breakthroughs for her designs. Seeing Hannah still working late at night, her boyfriend Kaylin asks her to go to sleep.
Let's go to bed.
I'm coming.
The next day, Hannah receives news from her boss, Christian, who suddenly wants to see the progress of the designs Hannah has been working on. Without wasting any time, Hannah rushes to the office carrying the gown she designed. Upon arrival, she is greeted by her close friend, Esther, who is also a designer.
Baby doll. Button is gorgeous.
Shortly after, Christian arrives and immediately walks around to examine the designer's gowns.
No. It's a very, very good word.
Finesse?
Christian plans to select several of the best gowns created by his designers to be showcased at the fashion show. When evaluating Hannah's gown, Christian is shocked to find a blood stain on it, caused by Hannah accidentally pricking her finger the night before, with the blood unintentionally staining the gown. In addition, Christian realizes that Hannah's gown is a plagiarism of a dress that had been displayed in a previous fashion show with only slight modifications. Because of this negligence, Hannah's design receives harsh criticism from Christian.
Pasta sauce? You know what you have. It's, the totally original idea, like now.
The criticism makes Hannah feel extremely pressured and ashamed. Hannah then goes to the bathroom to calm herself down. Suddenly, she feels that something is strange with her body. When she looks at her birthmark, Hannah is shocked to see something protruding from it. Hannah asks Esther for painkillers, hoping they can at least ease the pain in her stomach. Esther then invites Hannah to meet later that night because there is something she wants to tell her, but Hannah refuses the invitation because she already has plans with Kaylin.
I knew you two would hit it off when I introed you because at least he liked yours. Christian.
That night, Hannah spends time with Kaylin, and when they are about to make love, Hannah once again feels intense pain in her stomach, as if something is trying to come out of her body. Not wanting Kaylin to notice anything strange about her body, Hannah immediately goes home, leaving Kaylin very confused by her behavior.
I have to go. I'm sorry.
Should I do something?
No, it's...
After arriving home, Hannah chooses to focus on designing her gown, but no matter how hard she tries to concentrate, she cannot come up with any ideas. Hannah begins to feel stressed and overwhelmed because her work is still unfinished. Suddenly, Hannah feels something coming out of her stomach, and a parasite-like creature emerges from her former birthmark. The parasite starts speaking harshly to Hannah, shocking her deeply. Unwilling to listen to its ranting, Hannah hits it and locks it inside a closet.
It can't be real.
While treating the wound on her stomach, Hannah finally comes up with an idea for her gown design. After the gown is finished, Hannah immediately shows it to Christian, and unexpectedly, Christian is very impressed by the result. Christian directly accepts Hannah's design and eagerly looks forward to her next creations. When Hannah meets Esther to talk about her success, Esther notices blood coming from Hannah's stomach. Hannah panics and immediately goes to a doctor to check the condition of her abdomen. From the medical examination, the doctor concludes that Hannah is most likely a chimera human, a simple term used for someone who has double DNA. More specifically, when a woman is pregnant with twins and one fetus is weaker, the weaker fetus can be absorbed by the stronger one. It seems that while Hannah was still in the womb, she had a twin, but the fetus that should have been her twin could not survive and was absorbed by Hannah. Because of this, Hannah has double DNA. The birthmark on Hannah's body is the trace of the absorption of the fetus that should have been her twin. The doctor says that this is something that commonly happens. Out of curiosity, Hannah asks the doctor whether the absorbed fetus could grow or reappear, recalling that she previously saw a parasite-like object coming out of her body through the wound. The doctor explains that this is impossible because the absorbed fetus would not survive after being absorbed by the other fetus. The doctor's explanation makes Hannah feel relieved. After that, Hannah goes to a bar with Esther to drink alcohol.
The pitch.
Hannah actually feels guilty because she previously left Kaylin so suddenly, so she sends an apology message to Kaylin and invites him to meet on Sunday. However, Kaylin does not reply to Hannah's message, making her start to feel anxious. Not wanting to dwell on it, Hannah and Esther start chatting. During their conversation, Esther invites Hannah to resign from their jobs and start their own fashion design business together. This way, they would have more freedom to look for ideas according to their own desires, without worrying about criticism from others. While Esther is explaining her plan, Hannah becomes focused on a message notification on Esther's phone, which turns out to be from Kaylin. Hannah begins to wonder why Kaylin is messaging Esther while ignoring her messages. She starts to suspect that Kaylin and Esther are having a secret relationship behind her back. Without asking further about Kaylin's message to Esther, Hannah chooses to go home. When she arrives home, Hannah is confronted by the parasite she had previously locked inside the closet. This time, the parasite looks different, with its body growing larger than before. The parasite starts telling Hannah that Kaylin has been ignoring her and prefers to communicate with Esther instead. It blames Hannah for not having time for Kaylin and only focusing on her work, which has made Kaylin feel very sad. Hearing all of this, Hannah suddenly feels deeply guilty and disappointed in herself. As she stares at the parasite, Hannah begins to feel as if she is being hypnotized. Fortunately, an incoming phone call notification from Hannah's mother snaps her back to her senses. Hannah immediately strikes the parasite until it loses consciousness, then ties it up in the storage room so that no one else will know about its existence. The next day, Hannah feels unwell. Her mother calls again, saying that there will be a dinner reception to celebrate their move to a new house and asks Hannah to attend. Hannah then asks her mother whether she ever had a twin sibling while still in the womb, but her mother does not understand what Hannah is talking about. Most likely, Hannah's mother also did not know that she had once been pregnant with twins.
Was I a twin?
What's wrong with you?
I know it won't be far.
Sometime later, Hannah is visited by Kaylin and Esther. Their visit is meant to invite Hannah to go on a picnic together. It turns out that the reason Kaylin messaged Esther was because they wanted to cheer Hannah up by taking her on a picnic. Both of them realized that lately, Hannah has been acting strangely, possibly due to stress from her work. However, strangely from Hannah's point of view, she sees with her own eyes that Kaylin and Esther are behaving affectionately in front of her. In reality, Kaylin and Esther are acting normally and simply want to invite Hannah to go on a picnic. This makes Hannah feel jealous, and because of that, she immediately refuses the picnic invitation. After Esther and Kaylin leave, Hannah becomes curious about what a chimera human really is and what kind of parasite has come out of her body. While searching for information on the internet, Hannah discovers a chimera human community that is holding a meeting that very day. Hannah believes they must know more about the problem she is experiencing, so without wasting any time, she goes to the meeting location. Upon arriving, Hannah is welcomed by an elderly woman named Florence, who is also a chimera human. Besides Florence, there are several other people who are chimera humans as well. The leader of the group, an elderly man named Fred, begins to explain more about the parasite. The parasite is actually the twin fetus that was absorbed by their bodies. According to Fred, the parasite can emerge from someone's body when that person is mentally weak or going through the most painful phase of their life. This can be caused by excessive sadness and stress. This explanation sounds very reasonable because lately Hannah has indeed been in a fragile mental state due to stress related to her work, her love life, and her family. In order to survive, the parasite needs to absorb energy from its host, which is Hannah, by making her weaker and then hypnotizing her. If the parasite absorbs Hannah's energy, it will grow stronger, and its form can even begin to resemble Hannah herself, while Hannah's body becomes increasingly weak. Upon hearing this, Hannah immediately asks how to get rid of the parasite. Fred explains that if Hannah kills the parasite, Hannah will also die. This is because the parasite is still part of Hannah's body, and there is an invisible bond connecting Hannah and the parasite. Hannah's mind is also connected to it, allowing the parasite to know Hannah's past and her painful memories. Using those bad memories, the parasite can weaken Hannah's mental state even further. Although the parasite cannot be killed, Fred says they can suppress it by sedating it every day. As long as the parasite remains weakened, Hannah's life will stay safe without any disturbance. Without thinking twice, Hannah buys the sedative sold by Fred. There, Hannah also meets a beautiful woman named Claudia, who is also a Chimera human. Claudia invites Hannah to have coffee at her house while they talk.
Oh, wow. Do you have kids?
We can thank my ex-husband for the fancy.
Claudia shares that her parasite emerged after she experienced severe stress due to a miscarriage and a divorce. Hannah then talks about her own problems involving her career, her family, and how recently she feels that her boyfriend, Kaylin, prefers spending time with her best friend instead of her. Claudia expresses sympathy for Hannah's situation and hopes that everything is just a misunderstanding.
I mean, don't blame it.
Yeah, mine's tied up.
This just feels like...
It's better than hearing all that vile stuff.
After returning home, Hannah immediately goes to the storage room and sedates her parasite. After learning all of this, Hannah begins to live her life normally again. That night, Kaylin visits Hannah's house because he is worried about her condition, as she has been constantly busy with work. Hannah then tells Kaylin about being a Chimera human and about the parasite that came out of her body. However, Kaylin does not believe her story. He thinks Hannah is simply stressed, and over the past few days he has been communicating with Esther to find out what is causing Hannah's stress. When Hannah learns that Kaylin and Esther have been communicating behind her back, she immediately feels deeply disappointed and jealous. All Hannah wants is someone who can listen to all of her worries. But Kaylin cuts her off before Hannah can show him the parasite. Because of her jealousy, Hannah begins to distance herself from both Kaylin and Esther. Hannah's actions naturally leave Kaylin and Esther feeling confused about what they should do. Meanwhile, Hannah tries to keep herself busy to forget all the problems and burdens in her mind. Fortunately, Hannah gets to know Claudia, and since meeting her, Hannah has been spending a lot of time with Claudia lately. During one of their meetings, Claudia says something interesting, suggesting that Hannah could use her parasite as someone to confide in and as a source of advice for her problems. Because the parasite is connected to Hannah's body and mind, it surely knows more about Hannah than anyone else and could potentially give helpful advice for her life. Claudia explains that Hannah still has to be careful because the parasite might take advantage of the situation to hypnotize her. Hannah becomes interested in trying this idea, and when she gets home, she immediately goes to meet her parasite. Hannah starts talking to it, hoping to find solutions to her problems. The parasite asks Hannah to come closer and begins talking about Kaylin and Esther, claiming that they seem to have fallen in love with each other. The parasite tells Hannah that she will never be loved by anyone. Hearing this makes Hannah deeply sad. The longer Hannah stares at the parasite, the closer she comes to being hypnotized by it. Hannah quickly reaches for the sedative injection to put the parasite to sleep, but unfortunately the syringe is empty, and Hannah is instantly hypnotized by the parasite. When she regains consciousness, the parasite has disappeared without a trace. Panic starts to overwhelm Hannah as she wonders where the parasite has gone. In the middle of her panic, Hannah receives a phone call from her mother, who asks her to pick up food she ordered for a dinner party. Because it is her mother's request, and Hannah does not want to refuse, she immediately goes to pick up the food.
Okay.
I need you to pick up the food.
And we'll cover your ride.
While on the way, Hannah calls Claudia and tells her that the parasite has suddenly disappeared, asking for her help later. After that, Hannah delivers the food to her parents' house.
Read?
Yeah, I thought that,
As she is about to serve the food onto plates, Hannah suddenly vomits a black liquid directly onto the food. The incident immediately makes Stacy extremely disappointed and angry. Hannah tries to explain to her mother that she has been experiencing strange things lately which have left her physically and mentally exhausted. However, Stacy refuses to listen and instead complains about how difficult it is to take care of Hannah. It is then revealed that when Hannah was still in high school, she once attempted to take her own life. Since that incident, Stacy has been traumatized and constantly afraid that Hannah might do something like that again. Because of this, Stacy has tried her best to help Hannah so she would not repeat the same action. However, Hannah has always closed herself off, leaving Stacy unsure of how to help her. Stacy actually loves Hannah very much, but because Hannah never wants to be helped, Stacy has gradually become exhausted from taking care of her. Hearing this, Hannah feels deeply sad and disappointed in herself. Hannah realizes that she has only been a burden to her parents. At that moment, Hannah immediately goes home and asks Claudia to come to her house.
but I'll pay you for the damages. I'm so sorry.
Talk to me.
Can you meet me at my apartment?
Yes.
After arriving home, Hannah begins to reflect on all the terrible events that have happened to her. Suddenly, from behind her, Hannah's parasite appears, its form beginning to change into a human shape, though still incomplete. The parasite says that it would have been better if it had been the one born instead of Hannah, believing that it could become a better version of Hannah than Hannah herself. These words completely shatter Hannah's mental state, and the parasite uses this opportunity to hypnotize her. From the parasite's mouth, something like a tongue emerges and pierces Hannah's neck, allowing the parasite to absorb Hannah's energy and leaving her extremely weak. While this process is happening, Claudia arrives at Hannah's house, but strangely, she does nothing to help Hannah. It is then revealed that the Claudia who has been meeting Hannah all this time is actually Claudia's parasite, while the real Claudia has been imprisoned by her own parasite. After the process is complete, Hannah's parasite fully transforms into a figure that looks exactly like Hannah, with the only difference being in the eyes. Claudia's parasite has purchased contact lenses so that Hannah's parasite can blend in among humans. After that, Hannah's parasite and Claudia's parasite take the real Hannah to the storage room and lock her inside. As long as Hannah remains weak, her parasite will stay strong, so every day Hannah's parasite must sedate Hannah to keep her in that condition. After dealing with Hannah, the parasite sends apology messages to Esther and also messages Kaylin asking to meet him.
What?
I don't know,
Eggplant.
By doing this, the parasite wants to repair Hannah's relationships with Esther and Kaylin, believing that by replacing Hannah, it can become a better and braver version of her. Meanwhile, Esther and Kaylin are both confused when they receive apology messages from Hannah. According to Esther, Hannah is not the type of person who apologizes through text messages because throughout their friendship, Hannah has always apologized in person. Unlike Esther, Kaylin thinks that the apology is actually a good sign. Feeling worried about Hannah, Esther goes to Hannah's apartment to check on her condition. Just as she is about to enter, Esther hears Hannah's voice coming from the storage room and immediately heads there to investigate. As she is about to enter the storage room, Esther runs into Hannah's parasite and Claudia's parasite, who have just come out of it. Because Hannah's parasite looks exactly like Hannah, Esther does not realize that this is not the real Hannah. However, since meeting the parasite, Esther already feels suspicious because Hannah is not acting like her usual self, especially since she suddenly has a new friend she never mentioned before. Hannah then asks Esther to meet again the next day. Sensing that something is wrong, Esther quickly contacts Kaylin and tells him about her suspicions, explaining that Hannah seems to be hiding something in her storage room. However, Kaylin asks Esther to stay calm, thinking that Hannah might simply be trying to recover from her mental health issues.
Okay? Please tell me you didn't scare her. Someone we both love just went through a mental...
Something's wrong.
I showed up and...
The next day at work, Hannah appears with an astonishing clothing design, even impressing Christian greatly.
2012 Fall Collection Breakout Dress.
Welcome to my season.
After work, Esther continues to feel that something is off about Hannah, especially because Hannah casually chats with Christian, which is unusual for her. When Esther notices Hannah's wrist, she is shocked to see that the friendship tattoo she and Hannah share is gone. From that moment, Esther becomes certain that the Hannah standing in front of her is not the real Hannah. Without wasting any time, Esther sneaks into Hannah's storage room to find out what is really inside. After struggling for some time, Esther finally discovers the real Hannah being held captive in the hidden storage room. With all her strength, Esther takes the real Hannah to the hospital to receive medical treatment.
Police. No. Just... Hey.
On the other hand, Hannah's parasite and Claudia's parasite go to the Chimera human community, where it is revealed that all the members of the group are actually parasites. They deliberately created the community so that parasites could replace their hosts. Fred's parasite then tells Hannah's parasite that they can kill their hosts by finding new hosts, allowing them to get rid of their original hosts without losing their own lives. Hannah's parasite plans to kill Hannah and continue living as the best version of Hannah. Fred then demonstrates how they find new hosts. First, they must say painful and hurtful words to potential hosts to weaken their mental state. And once the target becomes mentally fragile, the parasites can absorb their energy until they die.
Your brother is gone.
Back to Hannah. After receiving medical treatment, her condition gradually improves. When she regains consciousness, Hannah sincerely thanks Esther for finding her and taking her to the hospital. Hannah then tells Esther about the parasite that looks exactly like her and is trying to take over her life. The parasite was once Hannah's twin fetus, but now it is trying to steal Hannah's identity. Hannah also explains why she distanced herself from Esther and Kaylin, because the parasite told her that Esther and Kaylin were having an affair. Esther denies this accusation and explains that she and Kaylin had been communicating frequently only to find out why Hannah had been avoiding them. Esther swears that she has no relationship with Kaylin at all, and that everything Hannah heard was a lie created by the parasite to weaken her mentally. Hannah apologizes to Esther for doubting her loyalty as her best friend. While they are talking, Esther suddenly remembers that Kaylin has an appointment to meet Hannah's parasite. Kaylin is surely unaware that the Hannah he is going to meet is not the real Hannah. Panicking, Hannah and Esther immediately rush to Kaylin's house to stop the parasite.
Man? No, wait, no. Keep that shit in.
Something's wrong.
Let's fucking do this.
At Kaylin's house, they see Kaylin, who has just finished making love with Hannah's parasite. Kaylin then asks for permission to take a shower and tells Hannah to wait for him. After Kaylin leaves, Hannah's parasite begins to feel something strange happening to its body as its teeth start falling out and its body grows weaker. Hannah's parasite asks Claudia's parasite to check on the real Hannah, and it turns out that the real Hannah is no longer in the storage room. Most likely, Hannah's condition has recovered, which is why Hannah's parasite is becoming weaker. Claudia's parasite suggests that Hannah's parasite immediately absorb Kaylin's energy so it can regain its strength. Hannah's parasite then weakens Kaylin by saying cruel words about the death of Kaylin's mother. Kaylin deeply loved his late mother, and the painful words spoken by Hannah's parasite cause Kaylin to lose focus. This makes Kaylin easily hypnotized by Hannah's parasite. After Kaylin is hypnotized, Hannah's parasite extends its tongue and begins absorbing Kaylin's energy. Moments later, the real Hannah and Esther arrive at Kaylin's house. Because the door is locked, Hannah is forced to enter alone through the air vent. Just as she is about to help Kaylin, Hannah is stopped by Claudia's parasite, who happens to be there.
I trusted you. Don't move. You don't want to get it.
Claudia's parasite tries to sedate Hannah using a syringe she is carrying. Fortunately, Esther manages to break in through the locked door and immediately helps Hannah. With Esther's help, Hannah successfully grabs the syringe from Claudia's parasite and sedates her. After dealing with Claudia's parasite, Hannah and Esther quickly help Kaylin by cutting off Hannah's parasite's tongue, preventing it from absorbing any more energy. Because the real Hannah's condition has greatly recovered, Hannah's parasite becomes extremely weak. In the end, Hannah is finally able to defeat her parasite. After the incident, Hannah immediately rescues the real Claudia, who has been imprisoned in her own house all this time. Hannah and Esther then agree to quit their jobs and start their own fashion design business together. After everything she's gone through, Hannah resolves to live her life in a better way. She decides to stay strong so her parasite will never again have the chance to steal her life. Hannah also decides to be more open with her parents, a decision that improves her relationship with them. Hannah now lives with Esther in a rented house that they use as their design studio, and so far, their business has been developing rapidly. Besides the two of them, Hannah also keeps her parasite in that house. Unlike before, Hannah decides not to sedate the parasite anymore. Instead, to keep it calm and asleep, Hannah only uses soothing incense and places it in a comfortable room. Even though the parasite once greatly disrupted her life, it is still a part of Hannah's body, and because of that, Hannah chooses to treat the parasite kindly. The story ends here.